No.
X always talks about a rocking hone motion, and I always thought he meant the rolling, rolling hone like you're doing. But he says no, that's not the case. That's not what he's talking about. I have no idea what he's talking about. Do you?
Yeah, I think I do. I can't speak for him. This is what I think he's doing. I think he leads a little bit. I don't know if he leads with the heel or not, but from the pictures, it seems like he kind of goes straight across, but I have the heel down right now, and I'm kind of lifting it up like that.
Right.
It's kind of similar to what I was doing before, except it's not using the X pattern. So it's basically just straight across. I'm not used to it, but I think
I could never get used to it, I'm sure.
maybe he leads with the heel. I don't know. It feels more comfortable for me to do this. The way you can start to learn is you can kind of keep the razor at just a little bit of an angle the whole time and just keep that constant angle, and then kind of just lift it up a little bit at the toe, and then just work on smoothing that motion out. What I was doing is just keep a slight angle and just keep that same angle, maybe like that the whole time, and it'll kind of get you the same sort of thing, but then pick it up towards the end a little bit. But you want to work on smoothing it out, and that's on smiling razors. It's not too hard. It's like honing a knife. I actually do that a lot on regular blades. This is a straight blade, but I'll actually do the same sort of thing. I think one of you guys noticed that is I think Josh Earl does the same thing in that I roll the stroke here too. And one of the reasons why I did that, I think I sold you a razor a long time ago, I think, Mark, and a lot of razors will be kind of rounded at the heel or warped. There'll be an issue at the heel. And if you do your normal stroke, the blade will get sharp all right, but the heel won't really get sharp. And I found that happened a fair amount, so to compensate for that, I start with it just lifted up just a little bit, and making sure that the heel is contacting, and then kind of shifting the pressure.
I'm just curious why you started off each one with it up like that.
Yeah, it's to sharpen the heel. A lot of, if you notice, how much time does the heel stay on the hone right now? Almost nothing. A lot of people say it doesn't matter. My experience tells me it does. I mean, so that's kind of, my heels were not getting as sharp as the rest of. That was kind of the weakest link a lot of the time. Not all the time. Sometimes the razors ground really well, and it's a pleasure to hone it. It sits flat on there. I kind of rotate it a little bit to give the heel a little bit more time on the hone. If you see right here, I can get a lot of times you'll be stopped by a shoulder, and some razors will let you go really far, which is nice. Some don't. But if I rotate it, I can get a little bit more heel contact. But then if I start with the heel down and the toe just slightly up, then it's even better for me. And I only use the very edge of my hone. And I think these narrow hones are really cool because it gives me perfect contact the whole time. They're a little bit harder to use in the beginning, but it's perfect contact. Each part of the blade gets the exact same amount of time on the hone, So that's kind of one thing. A warped razor, I would hone using the same kind of rolling technique. It'll allow the razor to get sharp in the areas that wouldn't normally get sharp if you're going straight on a wide hone. So that's kind of the rolling stroke with a flat blade. It's very slight, but it's enough. I'm not using any pressure. If you're only contacting a very small amount of the hone, there's a lot more surface pounds per square inch, I guess, because the contact areas. So you really have to use very, very light pressure. So that's how I do it. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's.
I have one last question.
Yeah.
How is a smile developed or a frown developed on the razor?
A frown makes you sad. A frown would be.
I know a frown on your face, but I mean on the.
Yeah. No. when you see a frown, you're sad because you know that the person either had a narrow hone and put a lot more pressure down when they were in the middle of the stroke, maybe just went straight across. I don't really know. I mean, it's probably a pressure thing. And when you have a razor with a frown, it really needs to be reground. It's kind of like a rhyme. If it's a frown, then reground. But if you don't have a grinder, you're gonna have to use coarse stones and patience and just hone it until you make the edge pretty straight. The smile is, I think it's a good feature. A lot of manufacturers actually produce their razors that way. Wade & Butcher, who make some of the best meat choppers from anybody, a lot of their blades are even more rounded than this, and your face isn't flat, like it's rounded, so it kind of gives you more precision, and they're just made that way. So smiles are a good thing if you know how to hone them. I think I like them.
Because I also heard that if you sharpen without using a whetstone that hasn't been flattened, and you know how you said it kind of gets dug out in the middle, like if you keep sharpening it that way, then that will also develop a smile sometimes.
It could. I don't really see how it would make too much of a difference other than you're talking about dishing the stone out this way.
Yeah, like in the middle. Like when you look at it from the side, it kind of knots inwards.
I don't see how it would really make a huge difference in that. It could though. So.
All right. Well,
yeah.
Thanks for
I think it's more just most smiles are made that way. Some people actually you can pronounce it maybe some more if you really like them. I can do some work on this. Hone it, like that. And no, I'm not kidding. If I have a wedge, if I have a Wade & Butcher, that's another good point. A lot of times smiling razors are wedges, and they can take a lot of time to hone. You can go back and forth, like I was doing. Just take patience. Another way to do it is you can remove metal by doing circles and rotating it like this. It's just like a knife. This is a knife sharpening technique right here. And you do circles and rotate the pressure. And that'll remove the metal and, set your edge. Oh, there you go. Show them that one. Here's some weight, but ooh, this is a beautiful razor right here. I used to have one of these. Yeah, that's, they don't get much better than that. That's a 7/8 meat chopper wedge with a smile. And it was made that way, That's the way they're made. And this one's fairly sharp.
Barber schools actually taught
That's not
students
quite
how to
shave ready.
create
Not shave ready.
how to create
How to
smile
create
image. Yeah, there was a special technique that's taught in the manuals how to actually do
I think I saw that in a barber manual. Did they use like pressure in the beginning and a little bit more pressure at the end or something?
Kind of. You emphasize pressure at the heel
Yeah.
for about 4 strokes and
Oh, okay.
at the point, and then you do the entire blade with light pressure.
Yeah, so if I have so just real quick back to, I kind of do the same sort of thing here. If I'm going to get a blade ready, shave ready initially, that's a smiling wedge, I'm probably going to do some circles and rotate it like this and go back and forth. I'm shifting the pressure, and that'll, remove the metal to get me close. And then, when I can start to feel that it's getting sharp, then I'll go back to my normal sort of, do this for another, maybe 20, 30 passes. And I'm doing the smiling, get right there. Nope, I'm not using pressure. I'm kind of dragging it with my pinky. Like, to be honest, I'm kind of dragging it with my pinky. That's kind of the pull. It's sort of a pull. It's a pull with my pinky. And I can feel it the whole time. It took me a long time to develop this, but it makes sense. And it's the same with a flat razor. You can do the same sort of stroke. This one's going to sound weird because it's... And that'll let you, if you have a warped razor or a razor with a weird heel or something, that'll let you, you're only contacting this, but it's contacting the rest of the blade. So that's, anything else could pop into your mind? Yeah.
I think it would be nice if Scott gives us a demonstration stroking.
Oh, yeah, have you already posted a video doing that, or?
I do.
Okay, so we don't really need to, we'll take a look.
Maybe a couple of background lessons.